So polysaccharides, we already discussed homopolysaccharides in previous video, and now in this video we'll be discussing about heteropolysaccharides. There are two main types of heteropolysaccharides, mucopolysaccharides and glycosaminoglycans. Now what are these heteropolysaccharides? So they are long, straight, unbranched chains and arranged as uronic acid and amino sugar alternatively. And additionally, they get sulfated or acetylated to hold negative charge. But there is an exception that have galactose instead of uronic acid and arranged as galactose and amino sugar alternatively. It don't have uronic acid. Instead, it has galactose. And that exception is keratin sulfate. It has galactose and amino sugar combination instead of uronic acid and amino sugar. Now let's get specific. Which uronic acid? So the glucuronic acid is the most common uronic acid. But there is an exception here also. That is iduronic acid. And that exception is heparin sulfate and dermatan sulfate. They don't have glucuronic acid and amino sugar combination. Instead, they have iduronic acid and amino sugar combination. Now for amino sugar, the most common amino sugar is glucosamine. But here also there is an exception. Instead of glucosamine, there is galactosamine present in some mucopolysaccharides. And that is chondroitin sulfate and dermatan sulfate. This chondroitin sulfate, it has exception only in the amino sugar. But the uronic acid is the most common one, that is glucuronic acid. But the dermatan sulfate, it has both the exceptions, the iduronic acid as well as galactosamine. It means dermatan sulfate holds all exception, whereas there is one mucopolysaccharide that holds no exception, and that is hyaluronic acid. It has combination of glucuronic acid with glucosamine. So it's done. Heteropolysaccharides are long, straight, unbranched chains which have uronic acid and amino sugar alternatively arranged, and they get sulfated or acetylated. And instead of uronic acid, there is galactose and amino sugar combination in keratin sulfate. And the most common uronic acid is glucuronic acid, but there is an exception. That is iduronic acid plus amino sugar combination that is present in heparin sulfate and dermatan sulfate. Now for the amino sugar, the most common amino sugar is glucosamine and the exception one is galactosamine. And the examples are chondroitin sulfate and dermatan sulfate. Chondroitin sulfate holds an exception only in amino sugar. That is combination of glucuronic acid plus galactosamine. Whereas this dermatan sulfate, it holds all the exceptions. That means it has iduronic acid plus galactosamine combination. And there is one mucopolysaccharide, that is hyaluronic acid, which holds no exception and has combination of glucosamine plus glucuronic acid. And this hyaluronic acid, it is neither sulfated nor acetylated. But why are they sulfated or acetylated? The remaining mucopolysaccharides, why are they sulfated or acetylated? So I already told that it is because they have to hold negative charge. But what's the need for negative charge? So for that, let's understand here. This is a cell and this is the vascular chamber, and between them we know there is extracellular matrix. And this extracellular matrix have mucopolysaccharides which holds negative charge. And because of this negative charge, sodium ions are attracted to this extracellular matrix. And we know that water always follows sodium ions. And because of this, the extracellular matrix will be gel-like viscous. So this was one function of this sulfation and acetylation. And the second reason is they are responsible for the selectivity of glomerular basement membrane. Now what do I mean by that? So we know that there are three layers in the filtration surface of glomeruli. The first one is endothelial, the second one is basement membrane, and the third one is Bowman's capsule. And these capillary endothelial cells have pores, and these pores allow any molecule with a molecular weight less than 70 kilodalton to pass through it. And the plasma proteins like albumin, which has molecular weight less than 70 kilodalton, can pass through these pores. But we know that at physiological pH of 7.4, all the plasma proteins are negatively charged. So this negatively charged basement membrane will repair this albumin back into the circulation. And because of this phenomena, albuminuria is not common. Now let's identify the structure on the basis of what we learned till now in this video. So this is the acid part. It means it is uronic acid and it is not galactose. And this one is amino sugar. But which one? Galactosamine or glucosamine? So for that, we have to see the fourth carbon. If the OH is on the lower side, it means it is glucosamine. So it totally fits in our definition and don't follow any exception. That means it is hyaluronic acid. Whereas this molecule, it has uronic acid in it. But this OH is on the upper side. It means it is not glucosamine, but it is galactosamine. And the only molecule which has uronic acid with galactosamine is chondroitin sulfate. Whereas this structure, it has COOH, but on the lower side. It means it's an acid, but it's not glucuronic acid. It's iduronic acid. And this one is amino sugar. It has OH on the upper side. It means it is galactosamine. And the only one mucopolysaccharide which has iduronic acid with galactosamine is dermatan sulfate. Now this structure, it don't have any acid part in it. It means it is keratin sulfate because it don't have uronic acid in it. Remaining all have acid in it. Now about the location, from the name chondroitin sulfate, we know that it will be present in cartilages and bones. Whereas this dermatan sulfate, its name derma means skin, so it's present in the skin. Now this hyaluronic acid, it's present in synovium and vitreous. Now the heparin, we all know it's a natural anticoagulant and it's present in the mast cells. And this heparin sulfate, we already discussed that it is present in the glomerular basement membrane. But it is also present along the large vessels like aortic wall to hold the enzymes within the vascular tree. Now this keratin sulfate, it's of two types. Keratin sulfate 1, which is present in cornea, and keratin sulfate 2, which is present in loose connective tissue. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends.